I am so excited to get to bring to you a brand new product from Cricut that I have been so excited to try. They have finally released Puff Iron-On. It comes in 6 colors for now: yellow, white, black, red, blue, and green. I've picked a really cute design to try it out with today. I'm going to do a little bat that has purple glitter iron-on as well. This is the packaging you'll get. It's just a basic cardboard sleeve. And a tip is to put your settings on the label if you're going to leave it in the packaging, and then that way you'll remember them for next time. I'm also going to be using one of Cricut's infusible ink shirts for sublimation. It's fine to use it for iron-on as well. I think this one in particular is going to be really cute with this bat because it's got the black sleeves. And then I've already pre-cut my designs, but I haven't weeded them yet. I leave mine on the mat because it generally makes weeding a little bit easier. And I've got my lint roller because we need to lint roll the shirt before we press our iron on, a weeding tool. And then I've also got an anti-static bag. It's just got cornstarch in it or baby powder. This is something I'm going to use to show you a little trick for weeding out glitter iron-on. I'm also using Cricut's heat pressing sheets. Let's go ahead and get one of these out. I love these because they're so easy to cut. And that's what I tend to do. I cut them into smaller pieces, so I have smaller pieces that fit my project better. I think that size is going to be perfect. I'm going to be using my Easy Press 3 today in the 9x9 size. The temp for this product is 290 degrees, and you are supposed to press it for 20 seconds. You really want to press this on a super hard surface to get that nice smooth puff appearance, and you want firm pressure. So I'll be using a wooden cutting board to put underneath my shirt to press on. Let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to take the cover off of my mat. It's another handy tip. Put a sticker on your cover so that you can find it later when you drop it on the floor. Okay, so for the tip with using baby powder or an anti-static bag, when you have glitter iron-on, as you can kind of see, it's impossible to see the cut lines. I did a little test cut up here in the corner just to make sure that my settings were good. And I'm going to show you now my little trick for the powder. You dab a little powder on, and then you rub it real good, and look what happens. The powder settles down into your cut lines, so you can see where to weed out your material from. Just a little tip, just make sure you wipe your powder off real good before you actually iron your material onto your shirt. Okay, let's start with this one. I think this is going to be so cute. I'm making it for my granddaughter. Halloween's coming. And when that puff vinyl was released, the first thing I thought of was that I wanted to make a little bat. And I just think it's going to be super, super cute. And well, you know, she's a girl, so I thought I should do something to make it a little bit more, oh, I don't know, you know, girly. So I decided to add some purple glitter on the design. Oh, look at that. That weeded so nice. And we'll get our little centers out of our letters. Don't forget, folks, when you're doing iron-on, you want a mirror. And the new design space will auto-mirror now. So be careful that you look at that so you don't accidentally click mirror and then have it auto-mirror on top and then therefore accidentally flip your design backwards. Okay, now this one here, this is the puff. This puff is different than most of your other iron-ons, we normally tell everybody that you want to cut it with the shiny side sticking to the mat. But with this one, you can see the side that was actually stuck to the mat has a kind of a matte finish. The other side is actually shinier. So in this case, you want to put the kind of matte colored surface down against your mat. And to make sure you've got it right, you can always just peel a tiny bit of a corner. And the clear part is obviously the part you want to stick to the mat. Okay, I'm just going to kind of stick that back down so I can weed it out. I used the settings already in Design Space. I didn't change anything. And on this particular material, I was also in a hurry because I got excited and I forgot to test cut. But as you can see, we got really lucky and it weeded off beautifully. Okay, now I'm going to weed out my centers. Now, because puff iron-on should always be the last thing you do, just like any other, specialty iron-on, I'm going to do my glitter layer first, and then I will do my puff second, so that I'm not accidentally having to press the puff twice. That could give you unintended results. And puff can get a little tricky. You can end up with something that looks sort of like a brain texture. And in some cases, that's pretty cool. If that happens with this one, I probably won't be upset because I think it might look kind of neat. But if you're after a super smooth surface, at least with this particular product, you want to press it on a hard surface, not on a pressing mat. And you want to use firm pressure. This one is also a cold peel. Okay, here we go. All right, as you can see, weeded out perfectly. I'm going to put my cover back on my mat so that it doesn't get any fuzz or fur on it. Please excuse my dogs. Okay, now, here's my wooden cutting board. And I don't need one this big, it was just the one that I happen to have handy. Anything that's at least as big as the area you're trying to press on will be fine. And then we also want to make sure we roll our shirt to get any dust off. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to fold my shirts in half like this, and I make sure it's still in half all the way down. And since we need to pre-press our item anyway, I'm going to use my pre-press as an opportunity to press a crease into my shirt. And I can use that to help make sure that I get my design centered. Okay, so now we've got our little line down the middle. So you can see we've got a nice line to work from. Now for this shirt, I'm making it for my granddaughter who is 7. Don't forget to take off your little test piece if you did one of those. And she's pretty small, so I'm going to run this fairly close. To the neckline. I folded my transfer in half, making sure that I was kind of in the middle, and then I creased it at the top and the bottom. And I'll use my little crease marks to center it on the shirt. I'm going to go about 2 fingers down from the neck. And that looks really good. Okay. Now for this layer, because it's fully covered, I don't really need the Teflon sheet, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. And for glitter, the settings are different. I will be using my Cricut heat app, using the Easy Press 3, but I'm just going to use the heat settings for the Easy Press 2. I'm using glitter iron-on a polyester shirt. And it's telling me 3:30, so I'm going to change my temp. And it's telling me 30 seconds, so I'm going to change my time. And I'm actually only going to do about 25 seconds because I'm also going to be pressing again when I press the puff layer. So it's going to get some extra heat from that. Now we just got to wait for our press to warm back up since we had to go up on the temperature a little bit. I think this is going to be so cute. Okay, we are now up to temp. And what I want to do when I press this, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally catch any of these seams under my press, or it won't get even pressure. Now the glitter doesn't need firm pressure, so I'm just going to kind of lean my hand on it and hit the play button. As a rule, pretty much all of Cricut's iron-on is going to be a cool or a cold peel. I'm going to double check this one. The heat guide is telling me cool touch. It also gives you all your, you probably can't see that, it also gives you all your other instructions telling you how to pre-press and do all of that. So we're going to remove our pressing sheet. And then we're going to cool it off. Nope, still hot. My board is also hot, so I'm going to turn it around so that I can press on the cooler side for the next one. Okay, that's pretty cool now. It's always a good idea to peel slowly, just in case something didn't stick down. Once again, I forgot to grab my mini heat press, so hopefully it all sticks good. I tend to have my mini easy press out as well when I'm doing iron-on. That way if something doesn't stick, I can just touch up the spots that didn't stick. Oh my gosh, look at that, guys. Look at how glittery. Okay, now we want to make sure we're good and smooth because we don't want anything not lined up. Now we're going to take our bat and we're going to line it up over our glitter. And sometimes when you press, your first layer will shrink a little bit when it gets heated. This is one of the reasons I really like to use glitter iron-on, because it tends to shrink less than the others. Okay. As you can see, it did shrink a tiny bit. Hold on. I stretched it out a little. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we do want to make sure this whole thing is covered when we press it. We don't want this exposed stuff getting pressed just directly on the plate. So this is where the Teflon sheet is kind of mandatory. Okay, now we're going to drop our temperature again because, as you remember, I said this one needs to go at 290. And then our time for press on the puff is going to only be 20 seconds, so I'm going to reduce my time as well. And as you can see, we're still too hot, so we're going to let this cool down for a minute. I am so excited to see how this turns out. Are you guys excited to get to play with the puff? I've been so excited. I've been wishing for a really long time that Cricut would come out with puff iron-on. Okay, we're finally down to the proper temp. So now once again, I'm going to line it up, and remember what I said, make sure you don't catch any seams underneath. And this requires firm pressure, so I'm going to lean on it. I'm not leaning super hard, I'm not trying to stand on it, I'm just giving it good firm pressure. Oh, I can already tell it puffed. It raised up my... Oh, that's hot. Okay, this is a cold peel, but I have a funny feeling that the cover sheet's just going to fall off, which it did. It puffed up high enough, it just pushed the cover sheet right off. Oh my gosh. That is so cute. And it puffed up so much. So ideally, you don't want any really tiny spots like I got right here with little eyes and the eyebrows, because they kind of disappear when it puffs up. But I think it's still super, super cute. Isn't that adorable? I will leave links for the products as well as a link for my project and design space in the description below. Hope you enjoy. Happy crafting!